Hello everyone, and welcome back to Great Movie Fan's YouTube channel. I'm Luke, and today I am bringing you my review for Disney's Moana. Yes, I saw the movie yesterday, which was Wednesday, opening day, and today is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody who celebrates. And this is going to be a very interesting review. When I left the theater, I was thinking to myself, okay, it's November. We've pretty much seen almost every animated movie that's going to be eligible for the Best Animated Feature Oscar this year. And now that I've seen Moana, I think I can definitively say what movie will definitely be taking home that gold. And that's Zootopia. What? Yes, Moana is a very charming film, but it's not a compelling film. In comparison to other Disney movies from both Renaissances, from the Renaissance from 1989 to 1999 to the Renaissance that's currently happening that started, I think, back with The Princess and the Frog and Wreck-It Ralph, Tangled, all the way up until this point, Moana is not the greatest Disney princess movie that's ever been made. But it's been billed as that. I mean, Moana was obviously fast-tracked to capitalize on Frozen mania, because Frozen was an unexpected hit for Disney. They were not intending... I don't think that Disney in their wildest dreams would have imagined that a movie that was literally getting worked up until the very last minute would not only become a global phenomenon, but gross over $1 billion worldwide. And what happens when you gross $1 billion worldwide? You make more movies. That's how Hollywood works. So, for this review, I'm going to basically split it in half. The first half is going to be 3 reasons as to why you need to see Moana. Because it is, like I said, it's a very charming movie. It has moments of genius. But then the second half is going to be 3 problems with Moana, and that's where I'm going to head into spoiler territory. So if you don't want to be spoiled going into this movie, then watch the first half of this review, and then you can come back when you've seen it. However, if you have seen Moana or you don't mind spoilers, then watch all the way through until the end of the video. But I will include a disclaimer when I get to that point. And I have my notes here. So let's get started with the 3 reasons as to why you need to see it. Number 1 is the stunning animation. As a hardcore Disney fan, I do miss the days of 2D hand-drawn animation, but Disney really is topping their every single movie. They have elevated to a brand new height of, animation technology and genius in the way that they're able to create these movies. So gorgeous. From the ocean itself. The ocean is almost a character in this movie. To the island of Motunui, to Tefiti, the Lava Witch, Maui, and Moana. All of the characters, everybody's designed so beautifully. Like, it really, really is like gorgeous paintings that have been brought to life. And also, I have to say, what fantastic action sequences this movie has. Surprising a lot amount of action sequences. I would say definitely on the level of Marvel's movies and DC's movies in terms of captivating the audience with these action sequences. And it really is a thing of beauty. It truly, truly is. Number 2 is the voice work. Now, there's not a lot of characters in this movie that get prominent voice talent, except for our 2 leads, with one featured character that I will talk about in just a second. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is great as Maui. He lends his voice so well to animation, so well to this big, goofy character. I mean, he's basically playing like the Polynesian, Hawaiian demigod version of the genie from Aladdin. Robin Williams would have been proud with his voice work. But truly, the movie belongs to Alihi Cravajo. She shines as Moana. She lends her voice so perfectly, her singing and her speaking voice. I'm so happy that they actually casted this role age appropriate and with a with a girl that's actually from the setting that the movie takes place in. Just absolutely fantastic. And I have to give a shout out to Grandma Tala, who's voiced by Rachel House. She was absolutely fantastic. And I'll talk more about her in the spoiler section. And the third reason you need to see it, this movie is a beautiful valentine to Hawaiian and Polynesian culture. The first act of this movie is so beautifully captures Polynesian culture, from the people themselves, to the clothing that they wear, to the tapestries, to the architecture, to the palm trees and the coconuts, and everything about this movie when they're on the islands is so beautiful. But now I have to get into spoiler sections because I do have 3 really glaring problems with the movie. And I feel it only necessary to go into it, and I can only talk about it if I go into spoilers. So this is your last moment. If you've not seen Moana and you want to remain unspoiled, thank you for watching. Come back when you've seen the movie. But if you're still here, let's talk spoilers. Okay. So my first problem is that the movie is just way too small. The first act is so well written and so tightly wound and cohesive, but the second and the third act is where the movie completely falls off the rails, in that it's literally a movie about 2 people and a chicken on a boat in the middle of nowhere for a majority of the movie. And so when you don't have multiple locations to jump to in an adventure story, then you need to have a compelling story. And Moana is not a compelling movie. It's a charming movie. It's just very, very clunky. And that brings me to the second problem. I don't care that there's no love interest in this movie, because this movie was billed once again as, hey, look at this, Moana doesn't have a love interest. Well, her voiceover actress is 15, her character's supposed to be 15, so I don't think it would have been appropriate to pair up a 15-year-old with a love interest. But the biggest problem is that this movie doesn't have an antagonist. There is no driving force against Moana and her journey. There's nothing. She encounters obstacles, but there's no chief antagonist. There's no villain. So when you don't have a villain, there's no clear driving force against the character motivation, and it makes for a weak character arc. It's funny. John Musker and Ron Clements directed this movie, and they also directed Hercules. And I will include a link in the video description to Lindsay Ellis's video essay talking about Hercules, the Disney movie, and what's wrong with it. And a lot of it is because of its weak character motivation. And it's ironic that the same problem is facing Moana. Because there's no opposing force, there's nothing for Moana to really be motivated for other than an internal struggle, but that's not established. If you wanted her to have an internal struggle with herself, that's fine, but establish that, and it wasn't. And the third problem is, unfortunately, the music. How Far I'll Go and We Know the Way are 2 great songs. It's the classic I Want song, and it's the big group number that they keep playing during the trailers, where everyone's traveling on the boats, and it's a flashback to how their culture used to be, how they used to be voyagers. And Lin-Manuel Miranda sings this song, and he's fantastic. Alihi Cravajo sings How Far I'll Go, and that's a beautiful I Want song. But the rest of the music is so... It's not of the quality work that I have seen Lin-Manuel Miranda and these other musical composers do. Like, You're Welcome was a cute song, but it felt really like sing-songy. And when you're doing a musical, you need to have songs that flow effortlessly through the show. You can't stop the plot and go, hey, we're going to be singing a song now. And it really, it detracts from your enjoyability of the movie and takes you out of it. When you're doing a musical, you have to make the musical numbers so effortless that you barely notice them. Shiny was a terrible song. Absolutely terrible. And that whole sequence with the crab was terrible. And the last song, Know Who You Are, which is a duet between Moana and her grandmother, was just another reprise of the I Want song, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't as good as it wasn't as good as How Far I'll Go. I've seen Lin-Manuel Miranda do better work. I adore Hamilton. I think Hamilton is one of the best musicals that's ever been written in the history of musical theater, and he just dropped the ball with 60 to 70% of the music. So if I had to give Moana an overall rating, I would give it a B minus. It's okay, but it's not great. It could have been so much more, though. Everything was there for this movie to be perfect, but I think the biggest problem that it faced is that it was fast-tracked too soon. This movie was supposed to come out in 2018, and it was hauled up a whole 2 years so that it could capitalize on Frozen Mania, and so that they could basically produce another Disney princess movie. And as I said in the beginning, it's a charming, likable film, but it's not compelling. So that is my review of Disney's Moana. Thank you so much for watching. Leave it in the comments down below how you felt about the movie. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. Follow me on Instagram at GreatMovieFan. Follow me on Twitter at GreatBWayFan. Please go support my other YouTube channel, GreatBroadwayFan. All the links are in the video description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.